You guys. Okay, what's going on, people of YouTube? Welcome to Bros Talking Soccer podcast, episode 37. We're just getting set up here. My name is Dave. Got on my fan futsal shirt. New Sons of Ben scarf from my Scarf of the Month club, so I'm pumped about that. That's what I got on. Christian and Matt are on the other side here. Christian, hey. Matt, hello. Say hello, guys.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Thanks for asking. Nice Union jersey there.
Yeah, they suck. They won.
Yeah, they won. They look great, and they're incredibly frustrating. Cool. So you guys both ready to jump right in here?
I'm ready.
All right, cool. Me too. Matt?
What?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Good.
Please keep it down over there.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 37 of the Bros Talking Soccer podcast, brought to you by Fan Futsal. What's going on? What's up?
I got this.
He does not have his Premier League table ready.
Yes,
He is making
do.
it right now.
I have my top 8 already picked.
All right, so that's fine. We'll start this over. The way I envision it going, we're gonna break it up into 3 sections. We're gonna talk about the relegation teams, then like the middle pack, and then the top 6. And so we'll each like give our thoughts. I figure we'll spend more time on the relegation and top 6, and try to just throw in like a couple quick things. If Christian's talking and I really don't agree with something, I'll chime up. Same thing with me, chime up if I say something that you really don't agree with and we can talk about. But for the most part, figured we'll each throw out our relegation spots, go around, say them. I'll start with Christian, then Matt, and then me. And then we'll just do that for the middle pack and then the top 6.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Matt, I'll give you a minute to write them down. Why didn't you just say that?
Say what? Who?
Okay. So, people of YouTube, just bear with us here as we try to figure this
Hello,
stuff
Christian's coworkers.
out. Yeah.
I'm wearing the same thing you just saw me wearing. What's up, guys?
Yeah. So, hello, Christian's coworkers as well. I'm Dave, his older brother. That's Matt.
I hope they
the younger
actually are
one.
watching, because that would be hysterical.
Yeah. Nobody's here yet, but in the future, because this will be online for forever, they may be watching.
Forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, how are things looking?
Well, I heard the Premier League starts this weekend.
Yes, it does. Christian, you have your table, right?
I do.
Okay.
I come prepared.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, son of a bitch. I forgot. I'm going to be at the shore tomorrow.
So you can't do the draft?
No, I will. I'm going to make them do it with me.
Who are you going to the shore with?
Lil Seabass and his cousin and their family.
Cool. See ya.
Yes.
Fun. Have fun. If you see the Beckett's, tell them I said hello.
No.
All right. If you see the McMasters, tell them I said hello.
Okay.
If you see the McClures, tell them I said hello.
No.
Okay. I don't know anybody else. Yeah.
What about Lil Seabass?
Tell him I said hello.
I won't.
Okay.
I'll tell him to watch the podcast if he wants to hear you say hello.
Okay. All right, people. So we are sorry to anybody who's having to sit through this. We promise we're going to get going in a minute here as soon as Matthew finishes up his table.
He is 10 teams in.
Stick with us. Okay, time to go.
I already have my bottom 3.
You have your what?
I have my bottom 3.
Cool. So do you want me to start? Or do you want to? No. We just finish. Just take your time, finish, and then because I'm going to ask you how you're doing. You're going to lose your train of thought. So there's that.
Ugh, I forgot I have to drive to the shore tomorrow.
That's not too bad. Was it? It's like a 2-hour drive.
Maybe I'll go early Friday morning. I don't know.
Isn't tomorrow Thursday? Or you do have off Friday?
Yeah.
That That's nice.
Yeah, it is. My coworkers are the best. They let me take off on Friday.
Nice. Smart. Matt, how we doing?
He's getting there.
Getting there.
1, 2, 3,
He's like a 15 or 16. Not at the top.
Oh, okay.
Math and counting are tough.
Okay, 15.
I did my whole thing without looking at the table, except for one team, and it was driving me crazy.
Huddersfield Town?
Nope.
Brighton and Hove?
Yep.
Figured.
Who?
One of the newly promoted ones.
I knew the other one.
Yeah, the American manager, German-American manager, David Wagner.
Wagner.
No, he goes by Wagner.
Wagner.
Nope.
Wait, who? Brighton's coach?
No, Huddersfield Town.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Newcastle. I was like, Newcastle is Rafa Benitez, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and Chris Hughton's Brighton and Hove, so I know.
Oh, he's a former Newcastle, so yeah.
Houghton?
Somebody twice.
He was
I think
Norwich.
He was in Newcastle for a little bit. I know he was in Norwich, but I thought he was in Newcastle after that.
Maybe. I don't remember him from there. You forgetting someone, Matt?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay.
Huh. Okay.
Are we good to go now?
Yeah.
Sure.
Right. Christian, you can talk about it when it's his time to give his predictions, okay? All right, we ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Christian, good. What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 37 of the Bros Talking Soccer podcast brought to you by Fan Futsal. My name is Dave Knittel, and I'm here with my brothers Christian and Matt to discuss stories from around the soccer world. Christian, how's life?
Can't believe we're on 37, Dave. Seems like just yesterday we're getting this thing started. It's pretty crazy. I'm doing great. I had about a half an hour of torture today at work where my coworkers found the YouTube videos of our Bros Talking Soccer podcast. So that was interesting. They also saw the Twitch, which I hope they're not listening to because they probably shouldn't be. That's a whole side of people that they probably you're not going to see every day.
Okay.
But
yeah, the Twitch streams are a lot of fun. Everybody should go watch them. They're great. So any listeners out there, definitely check them out. And you're headed to the shore tomorrow, so hopefully that is good.
I'm hoping it is going to go well as well.
Okay. Wish you good weather. Matt, how are you doing? You looking forward to coming out to California for your visit tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm doing well, Dave. I'm excited to go to California, head out California way. Now you're gonna show me a lot out there, so I'm excited.
Yeah, we're excited to host you, so we're looking forward to it. I'm doing well, guys. Thanks for asking. As always, I'm excited to have Matt here. We got, fun events planned. We're going to be hiking. We're going to be going to the shore. We're going to be eating fun things, and it's just going to be great. So with that, I actually have our trivia question for this week and been teasing it on the podcast for the last few weeks, so hope it's a good one. Christian and Matt, there's one club that hasn't gotten a red card in an EPL.
Dave, we can't hear you.
Dave, what? What? I didn't catch that.
I had some peanuts. I had some peanuts before we started, and I think they're caught in my throat. Sorry about that. All right, let me do that again. There's one club that hasn't gotten a red card in an EPL match either of the last 2 Premier League seasons. Who is that club? So listeners, we are going to think over that. Matt and Christian are going to think over it, and they'll give their guess at the end. No cheating or anything like that. So do our best to give the guess. Before we get to our first segment, though, let me quick tell you about Fan Futsal. So what is Fan Futsal, you may be wondering? Well, Fan Futsal is a different fantasy soccer experience where you select 5 clubs instead of 8 to 11 individual players for your weekly fantasy teams. You then arrange these clubs into a formation and give them positions which emphasize different scoring attributes. The only fantasy scoring elements are goals scored, goals conceded, and the result of the match. It's that simple. Pick 5 teams, complete your lineup, then sit back and follow match scores to see how you're doing. EPL is back this week with matches kicking off Friday. We're also going to have Ligue 1, MLS, and Liga MX games going on right now. We'll have games for the remaining big three Euro leagues when they start back up again in the next few weeks. It's different than any fantasy soccer game you've played before, and since the games are weekly, there's no long commitment. If you like soccer, you're going to like Fan Futsal. It only takes a few seconds to sign up, so join now and start playing at Fan Futsal, FANFUTSAL.com today. Also, just wanted to give a quick shout out. We are having a Fan Futsal tailgate before the Union's August 26th match against Atlanta United from 4 to 6:30. So right before that game, have some free Fan Futsal stickers you can put on your phone, computer, whatever you want to put them on. Also have snacks, beer, water, sodas, some games, probably a little cornhole or sack toss, whatever you call that game, and Sakurai version of beer pong that I'm working on. So looking forward to all that. Come join us if you're in the Philly area. Should be a lot of fun. Okay, now that I'm done with my little spiel, let's get on to the meat of the task. Segment 1. Premier League is back this week, so we're going to do our predictions for the full season table at the end of the season. I figured let's break our prediction into 3 segments. So we're going to do the bottom 3 teams likely to be relegated. Then we'll move to the middle teams in places 17 through 7 before we do top 6. Give some quick reasons behind each of our predictions. So Christian, let's start with you. Who are the 3 teams going to be relegated, starting with the 20th place team?
Absolutely no doubt Huddersfield Town will be the last place team in this division. They are coming into the Premier League this year with the only team ever to have a negative goal differential and get promoted. So I just have very little hope for them defensively in this league.
Okay, so then continue. Do your bottom 3.
I thought we were just doing the bottom first. Okay.
Nope,
so we're doing.
sorry.
Okay,
Continue.
cool. So Huddersfield on the bottom, number 19. I think Watford are going to struggle this year. I know they just signed Gray today from Burnley, but I don't think he's going to be enough to save them up front. And my other team is Burnley. I don't think they have enough, and they're not deep enough to save themselves this season.
Okay, Matt, what about your bottom 3?
My bottom, last place, I have Burnley. I don't think they have the depth or the attack really going forward. I think they're going to struggle this year. Then I have West Brom, who for some reason,
absolutely not, no way.
Last year I think was a complete fluke. Well, the first half of the season and the second half of the season, you kind of saw they didn't really do anything, and that's kind of what happened the year before last year. I think they finished 16th or 17th. I think the year before.
I can't remember, but it sounds about right.
Yeah. So I think they go down this year. I don't think they have too much quality on the team, and I don't really like the way they play.
No one likes the way they play, but Tony Pulis does not get relegated. He never has, and he won't. I just can't imagine it's going to happen.
Okay. What about 18?
And Brighton going down. That's my last one.
Okay, that's fair enough. So I have Huddersfield Town in 20th, Burnley 19th, 18th Watford. So pretty similar to what Christian's already said. I don't think we need to spend too much time on that. I think you guys have kind of already hammered home a lot of the points that were my thoughts. So let's move on to the middle chunk. Christian, you want to just run through who you got and where you got them? Starting
Let me go from 17th up.
Yep, 17th up.
All right. I think Brighton are just going to hold on at the end. I think they're going to struggle, but they will just about outlast Watford and Burnley. Swansea is after that. They still haven't improved enough, and they might lose their star midfielder, so we'll see what happens there. Crystal Palace, I think we're starting to get into the meat of the Premier League. There's a top side, but they're not top enough to be in the top half. Stoke is above
How many
them.
times can you say top in one sentence?
Yeah, I try to use enough tops there. So Stoke, I think, above them. After that, we got Newcastle, one of the newcomers, but they're Premier League staple, pretty much, I'd say. They've been around for a long time, and I think that they're going to do much better than they have in the past. Bournemouth above them. I think Eddie Howe's doing things right, and they're just going to finish outside the top 10. Then I got West Brom in 11th for everything that I said earlier. And then I got Southampton above them, just cracking the top 10. They just always seem to have things come together. We'll see what happens with Van Dijk. They might struggle without him, but we'll see. Leicester is going to be back in the top half this year. I think that they have recovered a little bit this summer and are going to be more of a threat. And then above them, we got West Ham, who have definitely improved up front this summer with Chicharito signing. I think it's going to be a big plus for them. And then 7th, we all know who's 7th. Everton, perennial 7th place finishers.
Okay. Not too much I can disagree with there. I think West Brom's a little bit high for me, and I think Newcastle's a little bit high for me too. I think that they haven't really brought in too many players, and so I think you had them at what, like 13th or maybe higher. I think that's a little bit high. I think they'll be a little bit lower, but mostly agree with a lot of other things that you said. Matt, you want to give yours 17th through 7th?
17th through 7th. Okay. Swansea, right above the relegation zone. With them possibly losing Gylfi as well, I think that's going to leave a huge hole in the team. It's going to be a tough recovery. Maybe they buy someone in January, pick things up, but I have them right above the relegation. Then I have Huddersfield, who I don't think they're going to be very good, but I think they're going to get some lucky results in this year. I have faith that they're going to stay up. Watford above them. Yeah, I mean Watford. There's Watford.
Fair enough.
They're around there. Bournemouth above them. I think Bournemouth is a solid team. I don't think they're going to be a top half team, but I also don't think they're a bottom 3 team. So I think that's right around where they'll be. Southampton. They have some talent, but I don't see them cracking the top half either. I have them right above Bournemouth, and then Stoke at 12th. I think Stoke's a good side, but I think the Premier League's so deep this year that that's a good spot for them. Newcastle above them, which I know you're not going to agree with, as you said before.
11th.
Jeez.
Yeah, but I like they have some players with Premier League experience and a manager with Premier League experience, so I think it should be pretty good for them. And then when I get in the top 10, I got Crystal Palace rounding off the top 10. They underperformed last year. I think they get their act together this year. Leicester, with the big signing, Kelechi, Iheanacho.
Yeah, no, he's going to be a good signing for them.
West Ham above them. They got probably the best goalie in the Premier League now with Joe Hart.
West Ham? Sorry, you broke up a little bit there.
Yeah, West Ham.
Okay.
They got Zabaleta as well. There's 2 huge signings, veteran signings, so I think they're going to be good. And then 7th place, Tottenham.
Okay. Wow. Matt puts Everton in the top 6. I know.
Wait, before you start, Dave, I want to give a shout out to Lee. He just texted me that he is watching live. So welcome.
Yep, and I saw his comment, so that was a funny comment. So hello, Lee. So let's do mine real quick. So in 17th place, I had Swansea. 16th, Brighton and Hove Albion. 15th, Newcastle. 14th, West Brom. 13th, Stoke City. 12th, Crystal Palace. 11th, Bournemouth. 10th, Leicester City. 9th, Southampton. 8th, Everton. 7th, West Ham. So I have there's no need to harp on a lot of these. I already kind of mentioned about Newcastle. I think Stoke is going to just be Stoke. I think Crystal Palace they have the talent, but they have a new manager, and I just don't see them climbing anywhere else than middle of the table. Bournemouth, kind of a similar thing. They have a very talented manager, but I just don't know if they have the talent to compete higher than that. And I think all of West Ham's new signings bring them up ahead of Everton. And I think Everton hasn't, we talked about it on the previous podcast, Everton hasn't replaced Lukaku. And they've brought in a lot of sexy signings, but there's still a lot of question marks for me. And I don't know what's going on at outside back. Leighton Baines keeps getting older, and I think that they're going to miss Lukaku.
Coleman's still there.
Coleman's got that horrific injury. He's out for like half the year.
Yeah.
No. Do you have any thoughts?
I mean, I think they have Rooney up front. I mean, he's not going to be Lukaku because he's not what he was before. But it's not going to be – I don't think it's going to be as drastic of a change as we're thinking it's going to be.
I mean, I'm only having him drop 1 spot to 8th. It's not like I'm having him drop.
That's drastic.
I'm not having him drop into the bottom half of the table. Okay. And Matt, any comments, or are we ready for top 6?
No, I'm ready.
Cool. Christian, top 6, starting with 6.
All right, here's the top 6 and how it's going to be. I'm going to tell you right now, this is what it's going to be. We got Arsenal in 6th. They are just not. I mean, they have improved at left back and they have improved up front, but it seems like Sanchez is going to go. I can't imagine they're going to hold on to him and then let him leave for free. That would be moronic by Arsenal.
I actually think they do, and that's why I have them at 6th. I think the same thing happens with Ox and Ozil. I think all three of them, they
You think they're all going to leave for free next year?
I do. Yeah.
I think that is moronic of them to even try and risk that. I think Ozil will sign up and stay on longer, or he'll leave next summer, but he'll sign a contract extension. But I can't imagine that they're going to finish higher than 6th this year. I don't think they have it.
Okay.
I think Liverpool are going to finish 5th. As much as it pains me to hear, they're going to finish just outside of the top 4 again. Especially if they lose Coutinho, I can't imagine they're going to have the quality to compete at that top level. Spurs finish 4th. They haven't really lost anyone other than their right back. They're going to come back stronger than ever this year. And
signed anyone.
But everyone else around them has gotten stronger. So that's why I think they're going to fall a little bit, but not too much. United, I think, finished 3rd. They clearly have improved all over the place, and it pains me to say, but they are definitely going to rebound and finish top 4. Chelsea finished 2nd. I don't even want to talk about them anymore. City finished 1st. They clearly are the best squad, best manager, clearly going to win the league this year.
Okay. Matt, you're up.
My top 6. I have Liverpool at the top, at the 6th spot. I think what you think. I think Alexis and Ozil are both going to stay. I don't know about Ox. I don't think he's as important. I think they could still, edge above Liverpool if Arsenal keep them. But those are my 6 and 5, with Arsenal right above Liverpool. And Everton, that 4th spot. I love the new signings. I know you're huge on Lukaku, but I'm really not big on Lukaku.
Yeah.
I think he's very replaceable. So, we're going to differ there. They're going to definitely play a different style now. But
so you have Everton above Arsenal and Liverpool.
Yeah.
Very bold. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I have Chelsea, 3rd place. They're back in Champions League. I think they're going to have a little bit. They lost Matic as well. I think they're going to have a little bit of a decrease or drop in points this year. So I think 3rd place is good for them, especially because the 2 Manchester teams got so much better. And I have United at 2nd. They look really good. I think they're the 2nd best team right now. They're looking really good, and City look incredible right now and have a lot of depth.
So United look good on paper. I don't know if either of you watched the Super Cup against Real Madrid, but United looked terrible. Madrid looked like they were in 2nd gear and were just bossing United. United didn't look great, but
Mourinho going into that game said that United are far behind Madrid, and then after the game said, "I told you."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. So for my top 6, I have Arsenal at 6 for a lot of reasons kind of already mentioned. I think that Ozil, Ox, and Sanchez will get kind of checked out later on in the year. They still have the talent to compete and be challenging, but I think they ultimately end up 6th. My surprise pick at 5 is Chelsea. There is all kinds of stuff going on, at least rumored, with Conte and the front office. He's come out and said he didn't want Matic to be sold. There's stuff going on with Diego Costa. I think that my prediction is Conte will not make it through the year at Chelsea, and there will be turmoil, and they'll end up dropping. So even though they have a talented squad, I think that's going to kind of derail their season. They end up in 5th. 4th, I have Tottenham, and they have the talent but haven't signed anybody to compete, and so they have a good season but ultimately finish 4th. United at 3rd, like I said before, they have talented players, but they don't look great in what I've seen from them, and ultimately that's where I think they finish. Complete homer pick, but I have Liverpool at 2. I would be shocked if they actually end up in 2nd, but this is more just like heart rather than head. So I'm going to put them at number 2. Number 1, we've all kind of said City, far and away the most talented roster. incredibly talented manager, and so I think we're all in consensus agreement that they're favorites to win the title. So that's our picks. Do you want to quick say who you think is going to be top scorer and player of the year, Christian?
Oh man, I say top player is going to be De Bruyne. I think that he's going to pull the strings this year, as always, and they're going to win. And top scorer, oof, this is going to be tough. I'm going to say Harry Kane again, even though I just don't like him as a player. He just will not stop scoring.
Matt, what about you?
I think top scorer is going to be Gabriel Jesus, and I think top player is going to be Gabriel Jesus.
Okay, fair enough. I also think top player is going to be Kevin De Bruyne, as Christian said. I think top scorer is going to be Lukaku. Going to ride that train till it crashes. I am all aboard. So that was our predictions there. Let's quick talk about something kind of big in American soccer before we get to the end of our segment here. So this past week, there was a filing to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, or CAS, by Miami FC and Kingston Stockade FC. So for those that aren't familiar, Miami FC is the NASL club whose owner proposed a couple weeks ago for the $4 billion MLS media rights deal for 10 years if they instituted promotion and relegation. We talked about that on a previous podcast. They're a D2 club. Stockade FC are owned by this guy, Dennis Crowley, who's the founder of Dodgeball and Foursquare, which are pretty successful technology startups. And that team plays in the 4th division. They filed an appeal to the CAS that MLS, US Soccer, and CONCACAF are not following FIFA rules and statutes that require promotion and relegation. To quote the specific rule, it's Article 9 of the FIFA statute, which state, quote, a club's entitlement to take part in a domestic league championship shall depend principally on sporting merit. A club shall qualify for domestic league championships by remaining in a certain division or by being promoted or relegated to another at the end of the season. It also, end quote, it also goes on to state, quote, in addition to qualification on sporting merit, a club's participation in a domestic league championship may be subject to other criteria within the scope of the licensing procedure, whereby the emphasis is on sporting, infrastructural, administrative, legal, and financial considerations. Licensing decisions must be able to be examined by the member association's body of appeal, end quote. Okay, a lot of legalese talk there. Christian, or no, let's go with Matt first. Matt, do you think these clubs have a case for challenging the way U.S. Soccer and MLS are set up to institute promotion and relegation?
I don't think it's the same as, FIFA or other FIFA organizations, because the MLS is its own thing, where the league runs all the teams, whereas over there they have like private owners who pretty much have like a lot of their rules for their club, and the MLS, each team, it's a lot more fair. You can't throw money. It's not like, Real Madrid can outspend the other teams. It's not like, or it's like they can, but it's not like LA Galaxy can technically outspend other teams legally, but they do, like, slightly, but it's still fair. Like they're still a good team, and they don't win every year. So I think there isn't much of a case, but I do think eventually it's going to be instated.
Yeah, but so the case is that MLS is not set up the way that it should legally be according to FIFA. At least that's their proposal. So yes, MLS is set up the way that you just described, but do you think that it's set up against FIFA laws because of that?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
I get where they're coming from. So I think there might be a difference, but there might be an exception, because like all of our sports are one way. So I think they might give it to like American sports culture. They might say this is how all their sports work, and it kind of just ends that way.
Because a key piece of what I just said, I know I said a lot of words when I was quoting the FIFA statutes, but the first one kind of seems to key on promotion and relegation, but the second one that I was quoting really says that, yeah, we said this, it should be promotion and relegation and based on sporting merit, but can be administrative and legal and all these other considerations. So I think it's ultimately going to come down, as most legal cases, to like little sort of wording clarification. So that's kind of my thought. Christian, what are your thoughts here? Do you think they have a case?
This is just the classic American mentality here. It's a stupid law, so let's just not follow it. I feel like it is kind of like it is true. That's true. I don't know. A lot of people think that way. A lot of people think that way.
Okay. No. I'm saying that that's not what's happening in this case. We've tried to follow different laws in the past, and it hasn't worked out. The franchise model is proven here, and look at MLS. It has succeeded where other leagues have failed.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that we need it here, and I think it's they have a case with it right now. I think it's going to blow over and disappear. I think it's ridiculous that they're saying that you need to require promotion and relegation in a league. I don't think that that's necessary, and it's proven that it's financially stable, and we have a market for teams right now that it's just ever growing right now. It's not. I don't think it's a big deal. Why is your face like? I feel like you want to make a comment here.
Well, no. So, like, do you think FIFA changes their laws? Do you think that FIFA just provides a clarification in their laws? Do you think?
I think they're going to make like an
MLS
amendment to it.
Okay.
That like it's not required as a FIFA sponsored league or whatever, not sponsored, but FIFA sanctioned league.
Yeah, because the risk here for anybody listening is that if MLS isn't meeting the requirements of FIFA and the Court of Arbitration of Sport rules that they're not meeting yet, MLS would be considered, what do they call it? I think it's a pirate league. I can't remember exactly the way that it's outlaw league. I can't remember the exact name of it.
The Orlando Pirates?
Yeah, but basically players who play in MLS, if it's considered an outlaw league or whatever the proper designation is, they can't compete in FIFA tournaments. So you can't play in the World Cup, you can't play in the Euros, you can't play in any of that. So this is a really big deal. I ultimately think that the CAS decides that MLS is fine and this kind of blows over and nothing actually happens. But there is a serious risk here to changing things up. So we'll see what happens. What do you think is going to happen, Matt?
Yeah, I don't think much comes of it. I think it's, well, at least, yeah, from this case by itself, I don't think anything comes of it. But eventually, Pro-Rel will be instated.
Okay, that's an interesting prediction. Christian, what about you?
I don't think we're going to ever instate it unless FIFA says you have to instate it or you're gone, at which point we would.
Yeah.
Just to maintain our status.
Yeah, I think it'll come, but it'll come with like an American twist and it'll be slow. But I think promotion relegation eventually does come to America, whether it's forced and whether it includes MLS or it's outside of it. It's definitely coming, but it's going to be interesting. No matter what, next 10 to 15 years, if you're not paying attention to American soccer, you should, because this is a really, really cool, interesting time. All right, that's it for our jam-packed part one. Thank you for sticking with us. I know it was long. We're going to take a quick break here, and we're going to be back with segment 2 right after this music. Stick around. All right, what do you keep? Why are you texting me? What are you texting me?
Sorry, Lee is saying things, and it's funny.
Hello, Lee. He said, I don't know what he wants me to address. Lee, you said the bloody wankers can hit the side of a barn.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
He can hear this part, right?
Yeah, he can. Yeah. He can. Yeah, he's watching live. We'll cut this from the podcast, obviously, when we put it out. But he can.
Obviously.
Hello, Lee. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you tuning in, even if you're just here to have fun. But thank you.
You made a comment that for anyone listening, and then said, "Am I the only one listening?"
He said, "I am the only one."
Well, yeah, he's the only one here right now. But the podcast actually gets. I mean, not a lot of listeners, but it gets some listeners.
Do we know all of our listeners?
I don't know. I can't. I just have the numbers. I mean, it's like.
Oh, you can't see who. Yeah,
I think our most popular one was around like 100 or so. But most weeks we get like, I don't know.
Wow, that's actually a lot.
20 to 30. Yeah, we got some good ones. All right. Are you guys ready to talk fan futsal?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome back, listeners, and let's jump right into our fan futsal segment here. We played a combination North American game on fan futsal this week featuring MLS and Liga MX clubs. Congrats to Christian, unfortunately, who came first with 91 points, way out in front of second place. Matt came in third overall, second out of the brothers with 60 points, and I came in way last of the brothers, seventh out of 8 overall with 41 points. Christian, you want to talk us through your lineup?
Yeah, let me teach you guys a lesson right here. So what happened was I won again this week by almost 35 or 25 points, 26 points. 26 points I won by. And maybe you should listen to your wife because clearly she knows a lot more than you do about this game. She finished second behind me. So what I did this week was I stuck with my guns here, going with the 1-3 formation. And I also stuck with what I know, which was 4 of the teams I chose were from MLS. I don't know much about League MX, so I tried to stay away as much as possible. But the one team I did choose paid off very, very well. They were my goalkeeper, Veracruz, played Puebla, I want to say. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Okay. They won 2-0, and we kicked off the weekend real good right there. So I had Philadelphia on defense this week. I know Matt chooses to ignore them most week, or no, he has been choosing them, and every time he does, they don't do well. So it's probably because did you pick them this week?
No, he
No,
picked
against
Dallas.
them.
So, well, he picked against them this week, and we saw what happened. So keep on doing that, Matt. I like that. They did concede late in the game, but they were up 3-0 at that point, so it didn't end up coming back to bite us. Dallas also had a goal earlier in that game, but it was a moment in history when VAR overturned it. My other teams I had were 3 teams that played up front for me, and they were New York City against the Red Bulls in a thrilling 3-2 draw thanks to David Villa. I got 3 goals there. Chicago Fire blowing away New England, which the Union should have done because New England aren't very good. What?
They're very good at home, but New England's bad on the road, and they were on the road this week.
I just feel like they are not very good ever when I watch them, but maybe that's because I only watch them when they're away from home. But Toronto surprisingly only got a 1-1 draw at DC United. I don't know how that happened because DC are just a disaster right now, and Toronto are so good. But you know what? 91 points out in front by some distance. That's all I got to say this week.
Yeah, that's great. We're all happy for you. Matt, you want to talk us through your lineup?
Yeah, so it pretty much just went wrong with the Union. The only reason I'm wearing this Union jersey right now is because it was long sleeves and I was getting kind of cold. So I hate the Union. I picked against them this week, and of course they win 3-1. And I picked FC Dallas, who they played, and I put them at goalie. So they got me a whole goose egg at goalie. My defense did well with a 3-0 victory. Probably they got 21 points, which is great, but then maybe put them up top. Would have got a couple more points. Chicago Fire got me 27 with that 4-1 win, so that was big. And then Columbus Crew against San Jose. Last week I picked San Jose and Philadelphia, which is representing the brothers, and they both lost. And then this week I picked against them, and they both won. So what do I know? And Orlando City also lost. So.
Just to clarify, I am a Philadelphia Union fan. I just happen to live in San Jose. For any listeners that may have been confused by Matt over the last couple of weeks, because he keeps saying that I'm a San Jose fan or whatnot. So just wanted to
You're a representative
clarify that.
of San Jose.
And I'm glad that you lost because you're picking against the Union, and you said, yeah, you hate them because I'm a big Union fan. All right. I did not do well. I don't really know Liga MX, but for whatever reason, I picked 4 Liga MX clubs for my lineup, and that was just the wrong strategy because it blew up terribly. I picked Chicago at goalkeeper, then went with a 2-0-2 formation, picked Chicago at goalkeeper. New England's terrible on the road. They scored 1 goal, which was frustrating and annoying, but still got 12 points out of my keeper. That's pretty good. Moving forward, I just did not have a good time. I had Chivas at defense along with Club Tijuana. Tijuana is off to a terrible start this season. They lost 3-0, 0 points from them. Chivas scored 2 but gave up 2, and so only got me a handful of points at defense. You don't want your defense to really concede. And then my forwards, Monarcas and America, scored 3 goals combined, 21 points between the two of them. Overall, just a very, very poor showing from myself, and I hang my head in shame. With that, yeah, as I should. With that, we're going to be doing the EPL this week. We've already talked about the EPL. It's starting on Friday, so we have a Bros Talking Soccer English Premier League game on fanfutsal.com. Look for that. on there. It's just going to be called Bros Talking Soccer with an EPL designation. We're pumped about it. Join it. Everybody's welcome to join. See if you can beat us. My username is dknits11. Christian's is cknittle12, and Matt's is mpk8110. Hope to see you in there.
Don't forget that the Premier League kicks off on Friday night this week.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
Friday afternoon. So Friday night England time, but for me it's Friday morning, actually late morning. So definitely pay attention to that. Matt and I, I'm sure, will be watching together for that, and we're pumped about it. So that's it for our second segment. We're going to take one more quick break and finish up with the last segment after this. Stick around. Cool. All right. I think Lee may have left.
I think he did. He said that was fun. LOL.
All right. Well, we appreciate him watching. So, all right, let's get on to a last segment. You guys good?
I'm ready.
Matt?
Yeah.
Paying attention as always?
Yeah.
I'm going through my fan futsal record.
Okay. I have all that stats too. If you guys ever want to see
only
it.
3 wins ever?
Yeah, I have all the stats. I can send them to you.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Welcome back, and let's talk about some transfers in our last segment. Some of you may not know, but Neymar was transferred from Barcelona to PSG last week. Key piece of that transfer was the fact that all players in Spain must have release clauses in their contract by law. So Real Madrid put comically high ones on their players, with Karim Benzema and Cristiano Ronaldo each having a billion euro release clause. Gareth Bale and Luka Modric each have a $500 million. Meanwhile, Barcelona had Neymar's at 222 million euros, which is still a lot of money, but not nearly as high as Real Madrid's. And Messi's is, quote, only, I know that's still an absurd number, but it's only at 300 million euros. Christian, why do you think Barcelona set theirs lower where clubs could theoretically still meet them?
I honestly don't know why they're doing that. I wonder if it's just their players request that, or maybe their agents are saying, let's keep it lower. But I don't know why Barcelona would agree to making figures. They probably thought that the figures were too big to even ever consider anyway. But with the way the market has just exploded over the past few years, they should, especially because Neymar signed his contract a few months ago, they should have seen this coming and said, okay, we're going to make it 500 million at least, just to prevent any of this from going down, because Real Madrid are doing that because financial fair play is going to stop teams from ever making those types of bids. But it's almost as if Barcelona are saying, okay, well, if you want to leave, we want what you're worth, what you're actually worth, but you will be allowed to leave.
So do you think that they actually want that?
I don't know. I don't think they want that, but it seems like that's the way they've gone about it, because they're more than a club is their slogan, and they believe that they can pretty much get through anything losing certain players.
And that's a fair, respectable strategy if that's what it is. It's just, when you think of these mega clubs, you don't always think of that. But Matt, what do you think about it? Why do you think they have them these release clauses set lower?
Well, I don't think they're low necessarily. I think they're incredible fees. Yeah, I get what you're saying, why they're lower than Real Madrid's, but I also am not entirely trusting the Benzema write-up. I read it and I was like, this is an unconfirmed number, but once a Spanish newspaper posted it. And I'm like,
they're notoriously unreliable too, Spanish newspapers.
Yeah, so I don't know if Benzema's is actually a $1 billion buyout. But 300 million for Messi at this point, if somebody pays that, I don't think they get the value back from that. I think Neymar, if he gets PSG 2 Champions Leagues, maybe even probably 2 with that fee, I think those people will feel like the value was paid for. I feel like at Messi at this point of his career, I don't think he can do enough to be worth 300 million for only a couple more years of playing.
Well, it depends. I mean, depending on how you think about and value the 300 million, if it's just on-field success, I mean, it may be that he may be able to achieve that, even if he brings. So say Messi moved and he brought somebody to Champions Leagues. What are the figures for Champions League winners nowadays? It's like right around $100 million with all the broadcasts and prize money. That's how much a club can expect to bring in with a Champions League finals win. So that's $100 million a year, and on top
Plus
of it,
the
I mean,
marketing
Messi's.
value that he
That
has.
was what I was going to get to next. Exactly. Like Messi moves teams. All the Messi fans are going to buy new jerseys of that team. You're going to sell millions of jerseys around the world. You're going to have your merchandise, increase. You're going to have your games on more television channels and more eyeballs and all that. And so there's that other side of things that he could theoretically be worth that.
That's what Ligue 1 are trying to say. I know the Lyon president was saying that he's excited that Neymar's come in. He doesn't understand why it was allowed to happen. I heard him say because of financial fair play. But he said having someone like Neymar will get us more TV deals, and he's excited about that.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, this is a financial fair play question. So say they did break the financial fair play law, like any team. Can't they break it and then just pay the sanctions after and keep the player? Because isn't that what a couple teams did?
So the first sanction you can pay a fine, and then your Champions League squad is reduced from 25 to 21 players, I think, and that's just like a first-time rule breaker. Then I think you're on a probational period for it's either 3 to 5 years, and PSG is still within that probational period because they already broke a financial fair play one time. If you break it again within your probational period, you can be barred from European competitions. So they could theoretically be kicked out of Champions League. Now, the issue with financial fair play is that I think you need to not have cumulative $30 million of losses over a 3-year period. So PSG could just be banking on going in the red, so going negative 50 million plus this year, but they still have kind of 2 more years to figure out their financials. And so I think what they're doing is kind of kicking the can down the road. That's my understanding and interpretation, but I've been trying to figure out these answers because it doesn't make any sense to me how they're talking, how they got Neymar within financial fair play in the first place, and how they're also still rumored to be in for Kylian Mbappe and or Alexis Sanchez. Like, it's just not making sense to me.
Yeah, that's another almost 300 million that they'd be spending on those 2 players. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I saw an article on Reddit. I haven't clicked on it yet, but apparently PSG is terminating their agreement with Fly Emirates at the end of the season to partner with Qatar Airways. And PSG's it's such an interesting situation because they're basically owned. PSG is owned by the Qatari government, more or less. It's not directly, but indirectly they're owned by them, which just sits on a mountain of money. And so there's things that they can do where if they partner with Qatar Airways, like Qatar Airways could pay a $200 million a year fee. And I don't know if that's how they're skirting the rules on financial fair play. Pure speculation on my part, but that's the only way I see this actually meeting the requirements. Okay, so I think we've talked that one up. Let's stick with the Neymar transfer, but talk about him specifically. So he posted a farewell message on Instagram and Facebook, really well written, kind of explaining his rationale and thoughts behind it. I don't know if either of you saw them. Listeners will have it in our show notes as always. Christian, how do you think Barca fans are going to perceive him, and is he going to have ill will if and when he returns to the club as an opposition, or just how is he seen by Barcelona fans?
Well, Barcelona fans see him as Judas right now. That's just how it is. They think he left when they're in a time where they needed to bring in players and strengthen. Real Madrid is kind of putting them down at the moment, and they lost arguably their future Ballon d'Or winner. So they are not going to react very happily to that. Plus, he was a key figure that he was going to bring in players they can still bring in Coutinho in them, but a lot of what was being said was Coutinho and Neymar are like best friends and they wanted to play together. Then he left, and it does look like Coutinho is going there, but now all of a sudden there's news reports saying Liverpool aren't going to accept it, and PSG might wait a year and buy Coutinho next year, and I'm just like, what is going on here? But I think he is such a huge factor for Barcelona, both marketing-wise and just performance on the field, that losing him for the fans is just a nightmare. But I don't think he has any ill will towards the fans or anything right now. And it's similar to when Torres left. He always loves Liverpool. He always talks about it still. But the fans they could not forgive him for the longest time. And I think it's going to be a similar situation to that.
So how do you feel? Because I know you still can't forgive Torres or Sterling or any of them. How do you feel about Neymar? Because you are a Barca fan.
Well, I mean, I don't like it, but I have forgiven Torres.
What about Sterling?
Sterling, I'm not going to forgive.
All right, Matt. How do you think Barca fans perceive Neymar, and how do you think they will?
Well, it's not like he requested a transfer, really. I don't think you can. I mean, there's going to be fans that are, bitter. There's going to be fans that are bitter, but I think a lot of the fans are going to be, reasonable and look at Neymar and be like, "You're making that much money, like you're going like such a pay increase. It's just so much of a better position for his family and his future." So I think they see that side of it. Obviously, as for a player, it's going to be tough to, kind of rationalize this move going from Barcelona, who are a top 3 club, probably top 1 from the last decade. So I think it's going to be tough for him to kind of reach that level of accomplishment with PSG. But I think it's an interesting challenge for him, and yeah, good for him.
Okay. Yeah, I think fans have ill will and will have ill will towards him, but I wouldn't, if I was a Barca fan, the same way I don't have ill will towards Torres or Sterling or any of those players. That's just kind of how I feel. I get that it's a career, short time. They need to make the most of it. So I feel that way. Let's talk about our last segment here first last topic here before I throw something at you guys. Sticking with the transfer theme, player unveiling videos have gotten absolutely out of control this summer. So there have been a number of different ones where clubs stage these high production value sort of transfer unveilings, and it's almost like a little mini movie. The most ridiculous one was probably this past week with Jesus Navas unveiling for Sevilla. So they staged a pretty convincing sort of kidnapping video where it was kind of more uncomfortable to watch than it was really entertaining. Matt, what do you think of all these ridiculous transfer videos, unveiling videos? Do you think that they're fun and they're harmless, or do you think that they're weird and a waste of time? How do you feel about them?
I am not a fan of them, and I compare them to I would compare them to the college commitment videos. You know those?
Yeah.
For
the football, jumping out of a helicopter, or just to put on a
they're
hat
so
or something.
stupid. I'm just say where you're going to school, or I hate the unveilings. I hate this whole extra thing, and it becomes such a thing. It's mainly just a social media tool, I guess, to get awareness. But I think it's corny and unnecessary.
Yeah, but I mean, it works. I mean, it is a social media tool, absolutely, but it gets people talking, and a lot of times people say any press is good press. So it does have a value from that perspective. I fall into the same camp as you. Christian, what do you think about these unveiling videos?
I think that these videos could be more entertaining and funny the way that they do them. I just think that they're super corny the way they are going about it, and it's completely unnecessary. And I wish that they would do a little bit more to if they are going to do it, make it more of a production, I guess. This is the corny. We're watching this video right now, and it's the most ridiculous thing of him being unveiled at the stadium. And I know, this is the team he grew up at, right?
Yes.
He's going back to Sevilla?
Yes.
Yeah, so I know he has, in his past, had a lot of issues mentally with depression and stuff when he was away from home. Do you guys not remember this at all?
No, I remember it, but where are you going with this?
He didn't go to he didn't go to the 2010 World Cup, and because he didn't want to leave his family and didn't want to leave Seville. So he's returning back to his home. So I think that it's important to like make a big deal out of it. I just think that they went about it in a weird way.
Got it.
I had
Okay.
a reason why.
All right.
I brought that
So
up.
you brought it around eventually. That
Yes.
was good because I didn't know where you were going with that. So like you both said, I think that they're stupid and corny. If they could do something where it was really well done and really funny, similar to how like commercials, you know, can be really corny, or like if a commercial is really good and really funny, like I actually like I'll watch it and actually enjoy it. So
Speaking
I think
of which, I was thinking about the Hump Day video today.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the greatest commercial of
perfect
all time.
example.
Mike.
Yeah, perfect example. So if they did something more along those lines, or even like, you know, not that this was a player unveiling, but when the Union did the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air remake, and it was just so well done. You know, if they did stuff like that, like I could get on board with that. None of this corny stuff. All right. Anything else you guys wanted to mention? That's the end of our topics about this topic, or any other topics. Christian?
I don't think so.
Matt?
Nope.
Okay. Two things I wanted to mention. After drawing this past weekend, Sunderland haven't won a match in August since 2010.
What?
7 years they haven't won in August, and they haven't won a match in September since 2012. They haven't won in the first 2 months of the season in that long. How crazy is that? And they were in the Premier League all those years except for this past season, I think. They may the ones back in 2010 they may not have been. But that's crazy.
They've been in the Premier League since 2010.
Okay. So
Yeah, they were in last season.
I know they were in last season. So this past season.
Oh, okay.
That's actually
upcoming
crazy
season.
to me.
Yeah.
That
was insane. That could have been a stat or a trivia fact, but we didn't do that. The other thing I just wanted to throw out there, have you guys heard about this ridiculous Cristiano Ronaldo to AS Monaco rumor? There's a conspiracy theory.
Mbappe?
Yeah, well, kind of. It's related to Kylian Mbappe, and there's this whole conspiracy thing on Reddit. There's a couple different people putting it out on social media, and it's just fun to think about. And I don't think that there's any sort of truth to it, but it's pretty crazy. And if that were to happen, that would be even more crazy than the Neymar thing. So I did just want to throw it out there. Listeners, go to Reddit, soccer Reddit, do look those up because they're pretty interesting to read. Even I love a good conspiracy theory. So
well, I mean, considering Ronaldo told Neymar, "Don't go to PSG, go to Man United to play with me," I don't know why that would have happened.
Yeah, that sounds true as well. I'm going to recap our trivia question from this week, and you guys are going to give your guesses. My question was, there's one club that hasn't gotten a red card in an EPL match either of the last 2 Premier League seasons. Who is that club? Or what is that club? I think because they're not persons, so I think what is the proper. I don't know. I can't speak English. Christian, what's your guess?
I'm looking. I'm trying to figure this out. It's going to be very. I'm not looking at the answer.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at the table.
Okay.
If I had to take a guess here, I am going to go.
Okay.
I want to guess. Okay, I'm going to go Bournemouth.
Okay. Matt, who's your guess?
I'm either going Spurs or Leicester.
It's definitely not Leicester. I can tell you that for sure.
Spurs.
Okay, it's Spurs. Matthew is correct.
I think 1 year they didn't let up a penalty either.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Another fun fact. Last season, West Brom didn't have a red card. Guess how many yellow cards they got, though?
412.
Okay, that's a little high.
42.
Matt, do you want to give a real guess?
So probably be
no, it's more than that.
38.
Sorry,
so 38
matches per season.
Hold on, I was wrong.
116.
I want to change my guess.
Okay, change it.
I want to say 91.
80. Still crazy, though. They had 80 yellow cards and not 1 red card. That's incredible to me. Listeners, thank you for bearing with us this week. I know it was a little bit long, but hopefully it was enjoyable. You can check all of the links to the stories we discussed here in our show notes. We'll also tweet them out from our Bros Talking Soccer Twitter handle. which is BT Soccer at BT Soccer Pod. If you want to get in contact with us, our email is bros.talking.soccer@gmail.com. And again, check out fanfutsal.com. Fun way to play fantasy soccer, simplified game. You know, it's going to be picking up. We're working on a new feature too, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely check that out. Christian and Matt, thank you both for talking to me this week, and thank you, listeners, for spending some time with us. We will talk to you next week. See you, everyone.
Thanks for stopping by, Lee. And sorry you couldn't stick around the whole time.
Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. YouTubers, thanks for tuning in. The podcast will be, well, doesn't matter. Nobody's watching live. So by the time you see this, the podcast will already be up. Bye.